speaker is Dr. Janice Kirsch. She's a medical doctor, also trained in public health. She's also a longtime environmental activist, working with many groups. One of them is Physicians for Social Responsibility. Today, she's speaking as a representative of the Climate Mobilization, and it's a national organization calling for urgent action on climate change. Please welcome Dr. Janice Kirsch.
Thank you all for being here. Can you all hear me?
Close to the mic.
More to the mic. Is this better? No. Okay.
Mouth up to the mic.
Thank you all for being here today as responders to the greatest emergency that humankind has ever known. And I want to say that there is a Latin word, statum, and what that means is immediately. So in medicine, if you're watching House or if you're in a hospital, when you hear a doctor or a nurse call out stat, they mean right now, not later. We are calling for an urgent response to the issue of climate change, not one of creeping slow gradualism. We want to see this turned around in several years, not several decades. So one of the group that I am speaking on behalf of today is the Climate Mobilization. And that is exactly the type of demand that we are making. We are making it of the folks who are negotiating on our behalf. We are making it to the public. We are making it to the NGOs, to our government, to what we call a Congress, to every level of folks who try to rule, and to the folks who really rule, who have the numbers, us. And that plea is this, to make this demand urgent. And one of the ways that we can make it urgent is by modeling, and though the metaphor of war I do not like, but a peaceful World War II scale assault on climate change, wherein all segments of society, from industrial to government, have came together during a brief period, a brief few years, and mobilize all sectors of society to stand up against a threat. And that is the kind of thing we need now. We need to have an all hands on deck way of dealing with this. And that means, and this has been endorsed by many of our friends and leaders, Lester Brown, Winona LaDuke, Ralph Nader, David Suzuki, Marshall Saunders. I could go on, but I'm not allowed to. Anyway, this is the kind of thing that we're calling for, and we're calling for it now. One of the things that I see when I look around, this is a wonderful day, this is a beautiful day, and all of the calls that people are making calls for everything from stopping the use of fossil fuel, which we call for, everything from reducing industrial meat agriculture, which we call for. Yeah, that's a big one that often doesn't get mentioned. Everything from working with the indigenous people, as we've just heard so eloquently. Everything, I could go on and on once again, but I can't. And even using market forces, putting a fee on carbon with a return of that fee to the taxpayer, so it's not regressive. There are so many aspects. This is us working all hands on deck. The Climate Mobilization asks for any potential voters, activists, to once again sign a pledge saying that they support urgent action, that this is an emergency. And we also call upon those of us, those who want to be in public office or to remain in public office, that they too sign this pledge or they will not get our vote. So with the same resolve, with the same type of bravery and focus that our parents, our grandparents, in some cases even our great-grandparents here today, brought to bear over a brief period of time, we can get to zero carbon emissions by engineering techniques, by better farming techniques, better agricultural techniques, by reforestation. We can get there by 2030. And we need to bring that to bear. And we need to bring that power to bear in the voting booths, in the halls of Congress, and in our local meetings around the world. And we need it now. We need it stat. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Janice. Awesome. So we still got a few more banners up front.